I was given a free trip to France, and I said no. That one word, no, cracked something open in my family I didn't know was so fragile. But let me take you back to where this all started. I had just graduated high school. That moment you dream about, cap in the air, freedom in sight, the start of a new chapter. But instead of celebration, my summer turned into a battle over control, over time, over choices, over me. My dad, eager to celebrate, decided he'd surprise me with a trip to Israel. 10 days, no warning, no conversation. He just planned to whisk me away, like I didn't have a life of my own. He didn't even tell me. My stepmom was the one who gave me a heads up. Quietly, kindly. She knew I had work, school events, friends, plans, a life I was trying to manage as I stood on the edge of adulthood. When I confronted my dad, he was angry I didn't see it as a loving gesture. But how do you appreciate a gift that erases your agency? After days of fighting, we settled on something smaller, a short cruise to the Bahamas. That I could manage. I thought that was the end of it. But then came graduation dinner. The whole family gathered. Laughter, champagne, congratulations. And then my aunt and Nana pulled out their surprise. A 10-day trip to France, mid-July, all expenses paid, just the three of us. Everyone gasped, smiled, clapped, except me. I smiled politely, thanked them sincerely. I knew it wasn't cheap. I knew they were trying to do something nice, but inside, I froze, because I already knew what this was. See, my aunt and Nana had a history. Every summer of my life had revolved around them. They made decisions, not suggestions. They controlled, not collaborated. There were times, when I was younger, that they flew me and my sister across the country without even telling our parents. We were children. We didn't understand. We just knew that once again, our voices didn't matter. And here we were again. Another trip, another plan, another decision made for me, not with me. They knew I didn't want another big trip that summer. I had already said it, out loud, clearly, but they ignored it, scheduled it anyway. And it wasn't even about me. The itinerary, not one thing I cared about. No input, no conversation, just a package with my name on it, wrapped in someone else's desires. I took time. I thought it through. I didn't react impulsively. Then I made the call. I told them I wouldn't be going. I said it kindly. I even offered to pay them back. I acknowledged their effort, but I held my ground. Because if this trip was truly for me, then my voice should have mattered. They didn't take it well. They asked for a FaceTime call. I agreed. Maybe, I thought, they just wanted to understand. Instead, they ambushed me. They made me repeat myself, over and over, like my reasons weren't valid the first time. Like if they pushed hard enough, I'd fold. Then they twisted my words, said I resented them, said I hated everything they'd ever done for me. I tried to stay calm. I told them they were misinterpreting, that this wasn't about the past, that I was grateful, but also tired. That's when they lost it. They cried. They yelled. They belittled me. And then they told me I needed therapy. I ended the call, shaking, exhausted. But it wasn't over. My dad found out. And instead of defending me, he accused me, called me ungrateful, selfish, a brat. He said my refusal would tear the family apart, that my aunt would disown me, that she'd start treating my little siblings worse, out of spite, that my stepmom's family would turn against me too, that I was the problem. Then came the threats. He threatened to take away my phone, my car, my home. He didn't say it directly, but the message was clear. If you don't do what we want, You won't have a place here anymore. So I stood there, 18 years old, days away from college, being told that choosing my peace meant losing everything else. And for what? A trip to France that was never really for me. A trip planned without my voice. A trip designed to celebrate me while completely ignoring who I am. And yet, they all acted like I was the villain. So, am I the asshole? Because I didn't want to be yanked away weeks before college starts? Because I didn't want to spend 10 days pretending to enjoy a vacation tailored to someone else's idea of who I should be? Because I chose my boundaries over their expectations? Because I said no to a gift that came with invisible strings and impossible consequences? That's the thing no one tells you about growing up. Sometimes, the people who claim to love you the most are the ones who struggle the hardest to let you become your own person. Sometimes, love comes wrapped in guilt. Sometimes, family is the reason you start to doubt your right to say no. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: love should never demand your silence. Love should never threaten your security. Love should never come with a price tag tied to obedience. So I ask again, am I the asshole? Or am I just finally learning how to protect myself? What does it mean to give someone a gift? Is it the trip itself? The cost? The gesture? Or is it the freedom it gives them to choose, to accept or to decline without fear of being punished? In this story, a young person stands at the crossroads of adolescence and adulthood and chooses voice over comfort. That's not selfish. That's courage. They weren't rejecting generosity. They were rejecting manipulation. They weren't abandoning family. They were trying to redefine what family should mean. Too often, we confuse control with care. We mistake compliance for gratitude. But boundaries are not betrayals. And saying no, when every part of you is told to say yes, that's strength. So here's the question for you, listening right now. Have you ever accepted something you didn't want just to avoid conflict? Have you ever called it love when what it really was pressure? We want to know. Comment below. Tell your story. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say no. And sometimes that one word can change everything. This has been AITA Stories. Thanks for listening.